All right, so this is 17 things I wish I knew before building a directory. You're gonna get a lot of information here based on my own experience, mistakes I've made, and also mistakes that I've seen because I've been able to see in a lot of people's directories and what they've done wrong. You wanna take some notes here? Let's get right into it. And I wanna give you the first one here. The first one is picking a niche too broad. You're not gonna go after AI tools. You're not gonna own that niche. The very specific thing about directories is you want to hyper niche. You want to get into a very specific niche. Why? Because Google needs to see your site as an authority of that. And so an example is you don't want to just do local business in Austin. You want to do local business, local Pilates studios. So it's very specific. Pilates goes after a more affluent type of customer, and it's a small niche. You can get known in that niche, and you will get noticed, and you will be able to outrank a lot of those sites in that niche if you do a local directory. So it's counterintuitive, but the smaller your focus is, the more you speak to the customer. Never forget that. 2, making a mistake with the domain name. You can go with a .net, but please don't go with a hyphen. That's the worst thing you can do with a domain name. And really think about if this is a domain name that you want to keep and build going forward. Sometimes you need to get a little creative with domain names, but picking the wrong domain name can certainly derail a project. Choosing the wrong platform. Choosing the wrong platform is the ultimate mistake that people make. There are tools built specifically for what you want to do, and the required technical skill to run those has come way, way down. So there's very complicated tools you can build a directory with, and very easy tools that have no code that you can build a directory with. And then in the middle sits WordPress. So you got to understand where you're coming from, what you're comfortable with. Have you built a website before? If you haven't, I would skew towards the no code tools. If you already know what platform you're going to build, maybe you've already got that set. If you're comfortable with WordPress and you've done a lot of things with WordPress, then you might want to start there. But it's going to depend on your level of experience and also what type of directory that you're going to build. Not getting started. That's the biggest mistake that people make, is they just think about an idea and they just never get started on it. You're never going to feel like you're 100% certain that you're the expert in this niche until you actually start to do that. So you need to actually take that step forward, step into the future that's a little bit unknown, a little bit uncomfortable, but at least you'll get somewhere and you learn a whole lot in the process, and your project could be a success. Publishing and waiting. This is what a lot of people do. They'll publish a site and then they'll just wait. They'll wait for the money to roll in. They won't do anything. And a directory that's just sitting there on the internet without links being built into it is like a shop sitting in the desert. No one's going to see it. You need to do a very specific thing. And this is what we teach our customers, is how to get that project so it gets indexed and it gets recognized by Google as an authority domain. So another mistake, thinking quality will always rank you. And yes, you want to build quality. That's absolutely key. Okay, there's kind of two sides to this coin here. There's the quality curated listing on one side, and then there's the really thin listing that's made with programmatic SEO on the other side, where maybe you're making thousands of pages from a single prompt. Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. The one with the curated listings is going to do much, much better, particularly looking into the future. But you can't just rely on quality alone. You have to think of this as a project, and you're going to do the things that you need to do in order to make it successful. Flooding your site with 100 links in one week. Google hates this. They hate 1,000 pages being created at once, and they hate 100 links being created all in the same week. What they want is consistency, because otherwise you look like you're using automated tools to game the system, and they don't like that. So the key is consistency, build slowly, build continually, and have a game plan that you can actually follow. That's really a core key of successful directory builders. What goes along with that, submitting all your sites to the same directories on the same day. So you do want to stagger this so it looks very normal to the search engines. Skipping over internal links. Internal links are so important. Now, here's the problem. When you build a directory, you only have a couple of listings, and then you have more, and then you have more. What you need to do is circle back, particularly looking at Google Search Console, circle back and see what pages people are getting impressions, what pages are getting impressions, and then build internal links into those pages. So you have to do this strategically, where you look at what's there And then you build more internal links and more targeted internal links into those specific pages. The great thing is if it's your own site and you're doing internal linking, you can use the proper anchor text to help suggest to Google what that page is about. And that's a really key component of successful directories. Number 9 is not understanding your niche. There's a lot of different niches and you need to approach each directory project independently. Just because some are local, some are affiliate style directories, and some are something completely different. But in each, you have to really understand the niche. Why are people looking for this product? Why are people looking in this niche? What are they trying to find? What are their problems? A great place is Reddit for a lot of this research that you can do, but really understanding how your niche and what your angle is for your directory. What makes it useful to that end user? What does it simplify? What's your moat? These are all questions you should look at when evaluating your directory project. Thing number 10, targeting keywords that are too competitive. Look, you're not going to get AI tools. That's just not going to happen, but you can target very specific keywords and you can definitely own those, even without a lot of domain authority. So it's very important to not get into battle with a keyword site. So win the hyper niche first, the small keywords, and then you can expand. Mistake number 11, building zero content around your listings. Here's the thing, a directory is just a directory of listings. There's only so much you can optimize that listing for, but there's a ton of questions and queries that people ask around that topic that you can write specific articles to. So articles win. You can create supporting content that is on the same domain and gets the traffic and then drives people to those listings. And that's your money pages where you make money. Never building an email list. I do this on all of my directories. I have a tool called Alert Bar Pro. I put a notification strip on the top of the bottom of the site and I make an offer. Even if I don't have anything, I'll just throw something quickly together, even a 5-page PDF, give it to them free in exchange for their email. Then you're building a list and that list becomes a monetizable asset as well. You can email them, you can drive them back to the site, and you know what those people are interested in. Always build a list. It's the biggest regret that most people have. Not installing analytics. Look, if you don't install analytics, you're just guessing. There's lots of free analytics packages. I've did a blog post where I review a bunch of them. I'll put a link down in the description so you can go check that out. But put analytics on, because if you don't have analytics, you're just guessing. In addition to analytics, you want to have Google Search Console. So you can actually tell what queries, what search queries people are finding your site for and what you're getting impressions for in Google. Very simple to set up. Just do it one time, and then you can look at the data and learn how to get better at understanding the data. Refusing to pay for information or research. This is a huge mistake people make. People overestimate what they're going to achieve by doing their own research. Sure, you don't want to spend $50 on a tool or a course, but what about the 40 hours figuring out what someone else has already condensed and put into something where you can get that information and get it fast? This is a huge mistake that people make. And it's often because the pain of spending money, they don't recognize what the value of that experience is going to do. If you were brand new at something, let's say you've never seen people play baseball before, what you want to do is ask someone how this game works, because it's going to take you a heck of a long time to figure that out if you've never experienced or seen basketball before. You can cut your learning curve and increase the chances of your project being a success dramatically by paying for information or by having someone who understands do the research. We have a research program where we can actually research a niche for you, and I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Treating link building as a one-time task. A lot of people think, okay, I've done links, that's all there is to it. Again, you want to have consistency, but this is something that you're going to do over time, okay? I would say that creating content and building links is your ongoing process, your kind of most important tasks for directory moving forward. So make sure that's in your schedule. The best thing to do is just block a certain time, a couple times per week, and do each of those tasks. And then boom, you're done. You've got it in your calendar and you've got a schedule. If you want, you can even outsource that, but you need to look at it as something that needs to be done either by you or by someone else. So don't treat link building as a one-time task. It's an ongoing process. It's something that's just organic and changes from time to time. Mistake number 16, waiting until you have traffic to monetize. Look, the thing is, you want to have offers on your site already. You want to have ways where you can make money, whether that's through affiliate programs or something else. Don't look at this as something where you're building and you hope to get money one day. Put links in, figure out a way to monetize. And part of this comes down to researching the niche, but you should have researched the best ways to monetize that and all the ways to monetize that, because it's very easy for people to not realize a certain way to monetize it or to set up their directory. And then they've picked the project, and those problems could have been avoided with a little bit better planning and preparation. And finally, quitting on month 3. SEO has a lag. And this is what's very frustrating about it. Even if you create content and you know it's going to rank, it still can take days, weeks for Google to index that page and properly rank it. So there's this kind of lag. It's nice to have this feedback where when you do something, you can see the results immediately, but that's not how it works with directories and SEO. You have to do things even if you're not seeing the results and continue doing those things. And then you start having that bounty. Think of it like growing a tree or something. In the first couple of years, there's no fruit on the tree and you're still working and taking care of it and doing all these things. But later on, and this isn't years to make money with a directory, this is just the example of a tree because trees take years to bear fruit. But later on, you will be reaping the benefit of that reward. So it's a little counterintuitive because you are doing work and not seeing results initially. And this is particularly clear in the first couple months because on a new domain, on a new project, Google is really skeptical of new domains. And they want to see what happens if you're being consistent. And they have all these filters because they don't want automated crap going up on their platform. So those are 17 tips that I've learned, 17 mistakes that you can avoid that will help bring your project to success. Now, I've got a free guide on directories. I'll put a link in the description as well. What that's going to do is, again, it's going to give you the foundation and the understanding of how to look at a project, how to evaluate a project, how to find the best project, and make sure it's a success. All these things that I put together are going to increase the chances of your project being a success. And at the end of the day, that's really what you want to do. I've talked to so many people that have tried projects, but maybe haven't really put it into place, really haven't had something successful. And this is one thing that can do that for you. So anyhow, I love building directories. I got some resources in the description below. Check that out and let me know in the comments which of these was the most counterintuitive for you personally, and maybe I'll send you something. Second thing is, right now on the screen, you'll see one of my videos where I'm talking about different platforms to use for a directory. If you don't pick the right platform, man, you're going to have a hard time making the project work, and it can derail the project more than anything else in particular. So check out that video now so you can find the best platform for you particularly and for your project. All right, we'll see you in the next video.